Parsha 101, Haftarah 101. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Beshalach. And this Torah portion, the main highlight of the Torah portion is the whole miracle that occurred with the splitting of the sea. So the Jewish people have finally left Egypt. They're finally leaving Egypt. They're getting out. And that's really the first part. That is really the Exodus. The first part where the entire nation is just walking out in broad daylight. And they're now free. And of course, they're going to go to Mount Sinai to get the Torah. But before they do that, there's a little bit of an issue because the Egyptians, eventually they give chase. And kind of the culmination of the whole Exodus is going to come now when the Egyptians will be fully, completely destroyed. And that occurs with the whole splitting of the sea. And when the Jewish people, they came to the sea where we're supposed to go, God said move forward, etc., etc., etc. The sea split, they crossed, and the sea closed in on the Egyptians and drowned them. And that was the end of the Egyptian army, and that was the end of the superpower, the Egyptian superpower. And it even says that some of the Jewish people were like, they look and they see the sea's calm, and well, where they all go? And it says that the sea showed them. It spits up the bodies to say, no, they're not coming after you anymore. This is over. As soon as after that happened, the Jewish people now sang a big song of praise to God. And that's as Yashir, we say it in our prayers every day. So this, in general, this Shabbos is called Shabbos Shira, but one of the main features of it is celebrating the faith of the Jewish woman. Because it says the men sang, but the women took out their tambourines and they were dancing and singing. So where they get these tambourines from? They're running out of Egypt. So, grab your tambourines. Well, because they always knew. They always knew there were going to be great miracles. They always knew that God was going to look out for them. And as it generally did, it says that the faith of the Jewish woman in the times of Egypt, that was what helped redeem the Jewish people. And so too in our time, the Exodus, the exile that we are now, will lead to the ultimate Exodus, coming of Mashiach, and that will be again through the faith of the Jewish woman. So it's not just a celebration of the miracle on the Exodus, but it's also a celebration of the Jewish woman and the faith that they have always had and we have always had. So the Haftarah mirrors that because it's all about the prophetess Devorah. And it's actually a little bit longer Haftarah than some of the past ones have been, because this one, it tells the story of Devorah the prophetess and also the song of Devorah that was sung after the great miracle that occurred in her time. So Devorah was a prophetess, and she also became the judge of the Jewish people. This is in the era of judges before there were kings, and she was a very great woman, a very well-respected woman. She was wealthy, etc., so people would come to her. And then there was a king in that time named Yevin, and he had a general called Sisera, and they started harassing the Jewish people, and eventually they were just going to go bring their massive armies with their 900 chariots and their 40,000 troops and come. And Devorah sends a message to Barak, General Barak. It says, gather men, we got to go fight. So he gathers men from the tribes of Naphtali and Zvulun, two of the tribes, and he gathers 10,000 men, and they end up on this mountain. And the odds are not exactly whatever. And even Barak is like, okay, I'll do what you say, but I want you to come. The people will rally under your name. So you come and be part of this. And Devorah said, I'll come be part of this, but know that what you just did now, the victory that will occur, the miracle of our victory that will occur will be credited to a woman. So she goes, they raise up the army, they're on the mountain, etc. Sisera comes to fight them. God causes much confusion in Sisera's camp, and the soldiers just start running and going for it, and Barak gives chase. And it says they chased them all the way down to a river that they killed all the soldiers, they killed all the enemies, and no one was left alive. And it says the river washed all the bodies away. So you kind of have a parallel there also with the splitting of the sea in that regard. But Sisera kind of sees, when he sees the tidal battle turning, and he's like, wait a second, this is not going so well. He goes running. Where does he end up? He ends up at where someone named Hever Akani had his tent set up. That's where he, kind of nomadic, that's where he was set up. And his wife Yael sees what's going on, and she sees Sisera's running, and she's like, oh, Sisera, come to my tent. You'll be safe there. Wink, wink. And so he comes out, so thirsty, give me something to drink. So she brings him milk because she wants to make him tired. And he falls asleep, and she takes a tent peg, and she takes a hammer, and she drives it into his temple, and she kills him. So at the Barak, she sees Barak, they show what happened, etc. And this is, Yael is considered the one, she of course brought the end to all this with the death of Sisera. So indeed, the miracle, the victory was credited to a woman. And then after that, after going through the whole story, the Haftarah then goes into the actual song of Devorah, the song that was sung, the song of praise of, this great miracle that God did, Devorah actually kind of calls out some of the tribes the ones who showed up, the ones who didn't show up for the war. Talks about how God should destroy all the enemies and different things like that. And it ends off with saying that there's going to come a time when the sun will shine so bright, 7 times more, however many times more, and all those who are with God, God's enemies shall perish, and all those who are with God will be, enveloped, bask in his love like the might of the sun, etc. And then it ends off with saying the land would now